Election is not until 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of controversy surrounding her.
Stories new at 6. Embattled Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is mounting a re-election bid. Henyard made the announcement in a post on her Facebook page.
All right, buckle up, because we're diving into a story so outrageous, so wild that it could be straight out of a political drama series. Except it's not fiction, it's real life. And it's happening in Dolton, Illinois. You've probably heard whispers about the self-proclaimed super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. But if you thought you knew the whole story, trust us, you don't. From contentious town meetings to accusations of power grabs, unpaid rent, and even claims of dictatorship, Tiffany Henyard's reign has been anything but boring. Today, we're peeling back the layers of this political soap opera to uncover what's really going on.
Henyard says she is endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet. Instead, promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the FBI.
Let's set the stage. Picture this, a packed room at a Dolton Township meeting, filled with frustrated residents, political opponents, and of course, the ever-dramatic Tiffany Henyard. But here's the twist: 2 trustees, Christopher Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle, didn't even bother to show up. Why? Because they were boycotting the meeting. That's right, they refused to attend, stating concerns about transparency and accusing Henyard of trying to steamroll her own agenda without proper vetting. And without a quorum, the meeting was a total bust. No decisions could be made, no votes could be taken, and the crowd was left with nothing but Henyard's fiery monologue.
Now to important business in Dolton Township, which hit a roadblock tonight, not because of the weather, not because of logistics, but because 2 trustees refused to show up.
Now, let's talk about that monologue because, wow. Henyard didn't just address the crowd she performed. She accused her opponents of being Judases and claimed there was a conspiracy to destroy her. In her words, "When I sue everybody because I'm coming for defaming my name, defaming my character in this conspiracy to destroy Tiffany Henyard, I will come for everyone. Know that. This is facts." That's right, she's threatening lawsuits left and right, all while doubling down on her controversial decisions. And let's not forget her signature move, using Facebook Live to air her grievances. This time, she spent nearly an hour defending herself and blasting her critics, leaving everyone wondering if her focus is on the community or her own image.
Don and Scott, the meeting wrapped up early because 2 trustees, as you mentioned, did not show up. Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle. Without them, not enough board members were present to make official decisions.
And speaking of image, can we talk about the banners? Yes, the ones with her face plastered all over them, proudly declaring her the super mayor. These banners were recently taken down by workers after trustees claimed they were unauthorized and unpaid for. Naturally, Henyard called the police. That's right, she called the cops to stop the removal of her banners, accusing the workers of taking government property. The vendor, meanwhile, claims they're still owed nearly $20,000 for the banners. It's a classic Henyard move, turning what could have been a minor issue into a full-blown spectacle. But let's not stop there, because the drama runs much deeper. At the heart of the controversy is Henyard's alleged attempt to seize control of Dolton's real estate. She's been pushing a program called Block by Block, which she claims is designed to help residents purchase properties at discounted rates. Sounds great in theory, right? Well, not everyone is buying it. Critics argue that the program is just a smokescreen for Henyard to handpick who gets access to these properties, potentially favoring her allies. Trustee Jason House didn't mince words, calling the whole thing highway robbery after it was revealed that the village wouldn't receive any revenue from the program. And let's be real, when a trustee openly accuses the mayor of robbing the community, you know things are messy.
Dane Placco. Tiffany Henyard actually has 2 political jobs on 2 public payrolls. As mayor of South Suburban Dolton, or as she calls herself,
the Block by Block program has also raised eyebrows because of its lack of transparency. Residents have called for detailed records showing who has benefited from the program thus far, but those requests have reportedly been met with silence. "We don't even know who's getting these properties," one frustrated resident said during a recent board meeting. "For all we know, it could be her friends or people who will owe her favors later." This has led to growing speculation that the initiative is less about empowering Dolton residents and more about consolidating Henyard's influence in the community. Critics have even suggested that the program could be a way for the mayor to reward political allies ahead of the upcoming election.
Every single resident, pay me what you owe me.
Further complicating matters is the lack of financial oversight tied to this initiative. Trustees have openly questioned how the program is being funded, with some accusing Henyard of funneling money from other village budgets to prop it up. In one contentious meeting, Trustee Jason House demanded access to financial records related to the program, only to be stonewalled. "We can't just keep writing blank checks for these pet projects," he said. "The residents deserve to know how their tax dollars are being spent." Henyard, however, has dismissed these concerns, insisting that the program is fully above board and accusing critics of trying to sabotage her efforts. Then there's the issue of Henyard's spending habits, which have been a hot topic ever since former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot conducted an investigation into Dolton's finances. According to the findings, the village's general fund went from a surplus of over $5 million to a deficit of nearly $4 million in just 2 years. And where did all that money go? Well, some of it reportedly went toward extravagant purchases on the village credit card, including tens of thousands spent on Amazon, Target, and even luxury items. One particularly jaw-dropping expense was a $40,000 charge on Amazon in a single day. $43,000. Let that sink in.
Very disturbing to hear these things or to kind of see some of the receipts that appear to be connected to it. And I think the taxpayers really deserve better than that.
And if you thought that was bad, wait until you hear about the parties. Henyard has a reputation for throwing lavish events, often billed as community gatherings but criticized as blatant self-promotion. One Valentine's Day event featured igloos, R&B music, and chants of Super Mayor echoing through the night. And let's not forget the infamous skating rink, which cost the village $2 million and reportedly only opens when Henyard is hosting an event. Critics argue that these parties are less about bringing the community together and more about boosting Henyard's image. After all, what better way to distract from a financial crisis than with a little glitz and glamour?
I have created a bill, which we're going to speak before the Revenue Committee, to give everybody $5,000 on their income tax when they file.
But here's the kicker: residents have started calling these public events vanity showcases, pointing out that they often seem to focus more on Henyard's personal brand than actual community benefit. One resident who attended the Valentine's Day event noted that it felt like the mayor's personal party, not something for the people. There are also allegations that some of the events were funded without proper board approval, leaving trustees scrambling to clean up financial messes afterward. Trustee Kiana Belcher has gone on record saying, "These events aren't about Dolton's growth or future, they're about her ego." Supporters, however, argue that these gatherings foster community spirit and engagement, though critics insist that the price tag is too high for a village already drowning in debt. Adding to the firestorm is Henyard's constant use of social media to promote her events and decisions. Her Facebook Lives, often framed as impromptu updates, have drawn mixed reactions. Supporters praise her for being accessible and unfiltered, but detractors say these broadcasts are more about theatrics than transparency. In one particularly infamous video, Henyard accused her critics of being part of a coordinated attack against her, claiming they don't want to see me win because I'm a young black woman in power. While her defenders saw this as an empowering statement, others viewed it as an attempt to deflect from legitimate concerns about her leadership.
You're using public funds for something that taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used for.
But the scandals don't end there. Henyard is also facing an eviction lawsuit after allegedly failing to pay rent on her Dolton home for months. Her landlord, Janetta Hull, claims Henyard and her boyfriend owe over $5,000 in back rent and have even changed the locks to keep her out. And here's the kicker: Henyard makes nearly $300,000 annually from her combined roles as mayor and supervisor. Yet she reportedly told her landlord she couldn't afford a $200 rent increase. Talk about priorities.
We weren't opposed to her having the security detail. We asked how long.
Oh, and did we mention the FBI is investigating? Yep, federal agents have served subpoenas to Dolton and Thornton Township, seeking records on Henyard's spending and business practices. While the investigation is ongoing, the mere fact that the FBI is involved has sent shockwaves through the community. Residents are demanding answers, but Henyard remains defiant, insisting that she's the victim of a smear campaign. In her words, why do we have all this attention on Tiffany Henyard? What the hell are they doing that they don't want us to know about while they're distracting us over here? And yet, despite all the controversy, Henyard is gearing up for re-election. That's right, she's announced her bid for a second term, boldly declaring that she'll win in a landslide. Her campaign strategy seems to be a mix of doubling down on her accomplishments, or lack thereof, and painting herself as a misunderstood underdog. But not everyone is convinced. Trustee Jason House, who's running against her, has called her re-election bid ridiculous and vowed to restore order to the village. Meanwhile, residents are divided. Some see Henyard as a trailblazer, while others view her as the worst mayor in America.
This is your super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor. We out here taking care of the business of the people.
The comments section is buzzing with reactions. One user wrote, "Miss Tiffany, you are 100% correct. The community does hate you." Another chimed in, "She never ceases to amaze me in the worst ways possible. But what amazes me most isn't her blatant theft, her threats, her lies, her stupidity. It's the fact that she truly believes that mop on her head looks good. Ouch." Clearly, Henyard's leadership has struck a nerve, and not in a good way. So where does this leave Dolton? On one hand, you have a mayor who seems more interested in self-promotion than serving her constituents. On the other, you have a community desperate for change but unsure how to achieve it. As the April election looms, one thing is clear: Dolton is at a crossroads. Will residents vote for a fresh start, or will they stick with the devil they know? And more importantly, how much longer can Henyard maintain her grip on power before the house of cards comes tumbling down? What do you think? Is Tiffany Henyard a misunderstood visionary? Or is she truly the most infamous mayor in America? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into stories you won't believe are real. Until next time, stay curious,